If you've been feeling overwhelmed by the clutter and mess in your home, but feel like you don't have enough time to declutter, then this video is for you. Because in it, we're going to talk about the life-changing power of 5 minutes and how you can use it to transform any space in your home. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa, and this is A to Zen Life, where we talk about the A to Z of simplifying your way to a home and a life you love. And in one of my previous videos, I talked about decluttering lies and how they can hold us back. And I think that one of the most common decluttering lies is the one where we tell ourselves that we don't have enough time to declutter. So that's why today I want to show you that 5 minutes can really have a huge impact. And we're going to go through my home and we're going to declutter 5 different rooms or spaces in my home that have gotten a little bit out of control lately. And I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes in each of those zones to show you just how much we can get done. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first zone we're going to be tackling is the flat surface clutter that's been collecting on this dining room table. And I'm going to be using this rattan basket lid to first remove some of the items that need to be rehomed. And then I also have an IKEA basket with handles on it that I'm going to be putting stuff in that needs to be either trashed, recycled, or maybe even donated. Right off the bat, I find $10 hidden underneath some clutter. So I don't know, even though this is my husband's workspace, I'm thinking finders keepers. What do you think? I know that some people, when they're decluttering, like to take things and put them away as they're decluttering. But when I'm trying to declutter fast, I find that it's really helpful to have a box or a tray or bin or something that I can put items that just need to be taken back to their proper place. So that way I'm not walking back and forth, wasting a lot of time. Honestly, I think the hardest part of doing this in 5 minutes isn't necessarily the decluttering, but when you have a lot of stuff out of place, especially on flat surfaces like this, getting it all back into the correct place. But I still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the timer, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, you can see that my husband just likes to collect cords on his workspace here. But we've also got things like Legos and library books that have kind of gotten out of place. Okay, as you can see, I've gotten everything that needed to be picked up off of here. The only thing I need to do now is get it back in place, and I have just under 3 minutes, so let me run and do that. While I try to get these cords and office supplies back in place, I thought we could just take a second to chat and catch up about what's been going on in our lives and why we've gotten so busy that it's been hard for me to stay on top of keeping the clutter and mess at bay in our home, because I think that a lot of you can relate to this. So of course, the boys have been home for summer vacation, which means that things have been busier than usual with trying to do fun things like go to the library and go swimming and play with our friends. Then we've had to do back to school shopping and preparation and all of the doctor's visits and forms that I've had to fill out for that. And then on top of that, we've been shopping for new furniture for our home and doing some upkeep and maintenance work, as well as some renovations and planning around that. But unfortunately, we had bought thousands of dollars worth of wood flooring, and then our first flooring guy completely ghosted us. He told us he was too busy to work with us after we had had this flooring sitting in there for weeks and weeks. Luckily, we had a friend who was able to refer us to a second contractor who could take over, but obviously that was a significant setback for us, and it pushed back our moving date and all of the other renovations that we were planning because we wanted to get the flooring done first. So that's kind of where we're at with the busyness and the renovations. I missed a couple things to put in the toy box, so we're gonna run back over there. The timer should be going off any second now. There's the timer. As you can see, 5 minutes was enough for me to reset this table where my husband works throughout the day and kind of restore order to it. I realized that I do have this box over here, which is a return that I need to do, but I don't have the return envelope yet, so I'll have to address that later. So now what I'm going to do is I've grabbed a trash bag. I'm going to put it inside this basket, and we're going to head upstairs to do some trash bag therapy. Okay, so now we are upstairs in the main bedroom, and what I want to do is I want to go through this dresser, and what I want to do is I want to pull out anything that has gotten too stained or too worn out. Like, for example, kids' clothes that have gotten holes in the elbows or holes in the knees. And the reason that I'm looking in this drawer for that, although my kids' clothes are stored in the other room, is because I've been using this bottom drawer as a dump drawer pretty much since we moved in here. So one of my favorite decluttering tips that I've talked about before is to have a clutter bucket or a clutter basket. Basically, like when you have a drop zone in a certain area, when you're too busy to do a full decluttering, but you find something that you want to get rid of, you can just pick it up and drop it off in that area until you have time to declutter it later. So for me and for worn out clothes, that's been this dresser drawer for now. So I got this bag to put the clothes inside. And honestly, I don't even know if I need 5 minutes to do this because like I said, it's already all in here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and set the timer, and then maybe we can also run to my youngest son's room and see if there's anything else that we need to declutter in there. Okay, so I'm hitting the start button. We've got 5 minutes counting down. I'm just gonna set this, I wish I could set it somewhere where you could see it. Hopefully that doesn't fall. So I'm just gonna now take this bag and literally just go through this door and take out the stuff that needs to be thrown away. Like these pajama shorts have a giant hole in the butt, probably from scooting around on his butt on the floor. And you know, this shirt was one of Dee Dee's absolute favorites, but it's just got holes in it everywhere. So this is also going to go. So we've got a ton of stuff in here that's just like that, like all worn out, holes in the elbows, holes in the knees, maybe too small, but too thin to donate. So we're just gonna go through and keep grabbing this stuff out. I don't think it's just my kids, because also my stuff gets worn out and gets holes in it too. Like my socks, when I don't wear slippers and I walk around the house, my socks tend to get worn out pretty quickly because I'm on my feet walking around a lot. We still have 3 minutes, and I just remembered that I think I have some underwear that I can get rid of. So I'm gonna move this up here, grab out these. So this is one of those things where the band has kind of started to separate from the fabric. So I've got 2 pairs right here that I can get rid of. And that's a pretty full bag of stuff right there. Since we have some extra time, I'm gonna hit the pause button. Let's walk to the other room and look through Dee Dee's drawers. Okay, hopefully you don't consider that cheating. I had to move and set up my tripod in here. So I'm gonna reset the timer here. I still have 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And I'm just gonna go through here and see, like this shirt, I know he says he doesn't want to wear anymore because it's got this really big stain on the front of the white shirt and it wasn't coming off in the wash, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I know this shirt is several Halloweens old. Obviously you can see we're gearing up for Halloween, and it's gotten really worn out and too small, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I've got 1:50 left, so let me just go through and see what else we've got. I think it's about time for some new pants, another pair with holes in them. Oh, that's the timer. Wow, so in just 5 minutes, we were able to get together a pretty decent bag of stuff that honestly just needs to be tossed. So let's head to the next space and declutter there. Okay, so now we are in the bathroom and I want to declutter under the bathroom sink. But this is probably the space that I'm dreading the most of all because it has gotten really messy. Let me show you. My husband's hair stuff is down here. We've got toothpaste and hair cutting supplies, some toiletries, a ton of glasses and glasses cases, which we'll get to in a second. And then these small containers that I've been using to try to kind of corral the clutter that are sort of working, but not really. And then another thing that's been piling up is sunscreen, because when we moved here, we no longer had our German sunscreen, but we found that regular sunscreen, like this sunscreen, my kids had an allergic reaction to. So I was buying all sorts of different sunscreens to try. I'm going to use this up because my skin is okay with it, but we had to go through a lot of sunscreen to try to figure out what sunscreen was safe for their skin. And then I guess I'm just gonna use up the rest myself. So I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes and we're just gonna go through and we're gonna try to toss or get rid of stuff that either is used up, it's empty boxes, or we just don't need it anymore. Let me see what I can find. 5 minutes. So I think this is my son's favorite glasses case, but he actually broke a pair of his glasses not that long ago. So this pair of glasses and the lens that fell out in this case we can just get rid of, but I don't think he likes the yellow. So I'm gonna put his glasses in his favorite case here. And then we have a backup setting of glasses in case the other one breaks. Literally just empty boxes. So like I said, with a quick declutter like this, I'm just going for those fast wins, things that are a no-brainer to get rid of, like empty boxes or old contacts prescriptions, like some of these that I'm throwing away. That's just been piling up for a while and can be quickly and easily tossed. My son has his own little box now because he recently got my sight contacts because his eyes got a whole diopter worse in between his last appointment and now. So now we're trying to slow down the nearsightedness with these. And he also got his expanders out. So we no longer need these keys for turning expanders. So we're going to get rid of those. And also he doesn't really need 2 things of this wax. So we're going to get rid of this. Okay, we're just about out of time, I think. But I think we got rid of a lot of trash out of there and got things tidied up a little bit. There we go. Time's up. The next zone is this pile of paper clutter that's been collecting here on the surface of my workspace. And I'm just going to go through and kind of roughly separate things that I want to keep to my left side, and then things that either need trashed or recycled. That's going to go into this rattan tray that's on my right hand side. And when you're decluttering these piles of paper and you come across your children's schoolwork or maybe some artwork that they've made, if you're on the fence about whether or not you should keep or get rid of something, one of my favorite rules is to keep things that represent special milestones that are new for your children, or if it's something that they have directly told you that they value, that they like, and that they want to keep, of course I will always keep that. But if it's just day-to-day scribbles, you know, things that they're making at home and just kind of like cycling through all of these paper, that's not something that's so special that I want to keep that for them to remember later. Okay, well, I didn't get through everything here, but I got through most of it. And this is stuff that needs to be kept and filed away. I'm just gonna plop that over there for a second. But all of this stuff I'm gonna get rid of. But I just wanted to point out this book, and I'm gonna remove the cover so that I don't invade anyone's privacy here. This is something that I feel kind of weird about because this was a book that we got as promotional material when we were looking at houses. And this is literally a whole book that they made about this house to market the house. Like the realtor did such a nice job with this. And now I feel kind of weird about having an entire book about someone else's house that I didn't even buy, but I feel also weird about getting rid of it. Let me know what you would do. And then as far as these big fat booklets, I realized that there's schoolwork from the past school year from my youngest son that we didn't even go through, and it's just like homework and reading assignments. Nothing special that you feel like, oh, that's a significant milestone that I might want to remember. So all of this pretty much is going to be trashed or recycled. And, you know, that gets rid of, you know, a decent chunk of paper right there. And then the final zone that I want to go through and declutter today is our school and craft supplies box over here. So I'm going to set the timer and we can go through this. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm kind of trying to thin out the paperwork and supplies that have gotten used up or gotten broken, or maybe there are pens or pencils that don't work so well, or that we just simply have too many of. Now, I will say that I do tend to keep duplicates in this category, like high quality extra pencils or unused index cards, because school supply shopping is expensive. And at our school, a lot of parents recently chose to order a box of school supplies for $135 a pop. But when I realized that I was going to be paying a lot more than I would
if I went shopping by myself and end up with a ton of leftover duplicates. As a frugal minimalist, I decided it would be better for me to DIY our school supply shopping, and I saved us over $150 by doing that. But on the other hand, you definitely need to be careful not to fall into the trap of keeping too much stuff because it's worth money or it could be useful. So it's really important for you to be able to decide for yourself what you want to keep versus what you want to get rid of.
I'm pretty impressed with how much stuff I was able to pull out with just 5 minutes in each of the spaces that we decluttered today. And I hope that as you've been watching me, you've also been inspired or motivated or feel encouraged to tackle your own clutter and decluttering projects, even if you only have 5 minutes to spare in each space. I think that you'll find that those 5 minutes can make a really big difference. And if you're interested to find out more decluttering lies that could be holding you back and how to overcome them, make sure to go check out this video, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.